And welcome to the unveiling of the MBW ScreeDemon powered by M18 REDLITHIUM high output batteries. I am Rick, the Director of Sales and Marketing for MBW. We just wanted to kind of unveil this particular product. We've been working on it for a while, been diligently putting hours upon hours of in-house testing and field testing on this unit to make sure that when it goes out into the field that we have all the positive feedbacks that we're accustomed to. So I'll just kind of go through some of the features of this unit, and then we'll follow it up at the end with any sort of questions that you guys may have that I don't cover during the presentation. So one of the big things on this unit, for those of you that are familiar with our gas version of the ScreeDemon, is the weight is going to be essentially the same. So this unit without the battery in it is going to be 29 pounds, which is the exact same weight as our gas version. Once you throw the battery in there, which is not overly heavy, it's going to be about closer to 33 pounds. So still a relatively light unit, easy to operate. The vibration that goes up into the operator is going to be consistent with our gas version as well. So for those of you that have selected our unit because of the very low hand arm vibration, you have nothing to worry about. It's going to feel exactly the same as our gas version, which is great. The runtime on this particular unit is going to be consistent with the gas version as well. That was one of the big things that we got and we wanted to address when we came out with this product, was making sure that switching from gas to battery, we were not going to have any sort of major sticking points. And that was kind of one of the big things with this. We wanted to make sure that as far as the feel, as far as the overall functionality, it's going to essentially be the same as the gas version. So the runtime is going to be pretty much the exact same as the gas, which essentially for this, if you were to run it full out, that's one of the big things we tested, is running this particular unit full throttle and running the gas unit full throttle. We got about 45 minutes out of that. So now obviously during a pour, you're not going to be using it at full throttle consistently for 45 minutes. You're going to be throttling it up and back, which is nice with this variable trigger. Very similar to our gas version, but this is going to be a little bit more of a motorcycle style. So that kind of allows you to kind of throttle up and down. And as far as run time, it's going to be consistent with gas versions, the gas version that we have. So if you're used to using one tank of gas for a particular pour that you may have, you're going to have the exact same runtime as one of the 12 amp M18 batteries would. So keep that in mind. So we kind of talked about the variable throttle. This has been something that we've addressed. It's very nice to have. It's very comfortable, just like a motorcycle style, which is really nice. The battery that we use for this particular machine here is going to be the Milwaukee M18 REDLITHIUM high output. This is the 12 amp. It's important that you kind of take note of this. This is the one that we did the majority of our testing with. And this is going to be the one that we've compared to the gas version. So when you have this unit, you can use the smaller amp hour batteries. So if you have a 5 amp hour or different size, you can use those, but you're not going to have quite the same output or quite the same runtime as you would if you use the 12 amp. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, is that this is the one that we recommend. We have note of that in the under the battery cover as well. So kind of keep that in mind. So this unit, this battery will actually just slide in and click right into the ScreeDemon. And if you note, this is actually right where we keep the 9/16 wrench as well. So that wrench is positioned in there so that you can adjust the boards, take them on or off, or position them differently. And that's really nice to have, that we feature that we added to our gas version a number of years ago, so that people don't have to kind of fumble around for a 9/16. It's right there with the unit. So once we close this battery cover, this particular cover is water resistant, not waterproof, which is kind of important to note. So if you're going to start to pressure wash this unit down, kind of take a step back and remember that there is a battery inside there and there are electrical components. And if you need to, scrub it down, that's fine, but it's certainly not waterproof. And the reason for that is so that battery can breathe a little bit. So just kind of keep that in mind. The sizes of board that you can use on this unit are going to be consistent with the gas version as well. So you're looking at anywhere from 2 feet up to 24 feet. And then anything over 16 feet will require 2 power heads. So the nice part about it, like I mentioned, we have this clamping system there's no singular holes or individual mounting spots for this. So you can really kind of slide it where you need. We do put suggestions on where to mount it, but if for some reason you need to alter that to get underneath a wall or stairs or guardrail or something like that, you can do that, and you have a lot more ability to be able to adjust these power heads as needed. So the other really cool part about this is during the testing, the hours upon hours of testing that we did in-house and out into the field, is that you can actually use this unit, this battery version, along with our gas unit. So let's say you have a 20-foot board that you're doing, and you're doing a driveway or inside of a shed or something like that, and you have the gas one and you just bought a battery one, you can use both of those on that board. So you can have a gas on one side and a battery on the other side, and you can use them with the same functionality that you would use a gas and a gas or a battery and a battery. So it's kind of a mix and match, which is really kind of cool. So for all of you users out there that currently have the gas version, you can get a battery one and use them in unison, which is really exciting. So we kind of covered the clamping system, which is somewhat unique to MBW. There's maybe one or two other people out there that use it, but this magnesium board is huge because we actually have the cutting edge in back. And when we did the testing on the battery version, the vibration stayed the same. So the harmonics are all going to be the same, the battery as compared to the gas, which means that all the output that you're accustomed to is going to be the same. So the other thing to kind of keep in mind is that we've actually been working with Milwaukee Tools on this for quite a while, which means that this system that we're using has actually been approved by Milwaukee Tools. So that also means that if something were to happen with the battery still remains, the warranty still remains on this battery from Milwaukee. And we have a 1-year manufacturer warranty on the actual MBW portion as well. So this has been authorized that we can use this battery. There are pieces out there and there's stuff that you can buy on Amazon that will allow you to bridge anything with any sort of battery. It's not the case. We've actually been through the process and had this approved with Milwaukee. So that's kind of a big thing when you're talking about the overall usage and what the implications are down the road if something were to happen. So these units, as far as the runtime, I'm not sure if I mentioned the 45 minutes already. I'm not sure if I caught that on the front end or the back end, but when we compared these, the runtime full out for the gas and the battery was 45 minutes. But obviously, like I said, as pours go, you're not running this full out for 45 minutes. You're just going to be running it on and off so that you can get several hours out of it. It's going to be comparable to the gas. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. One of the other nice parts about this unit is that, we have an adjustable handle. So you can loosen it up, tighten it. You can actually fold this down. With the old gas versions, what I used to do to keep that Honda engine warm is I would actually just throw it right in the back seat of the truck and then go out to a demo, have the board in the back. So you can still do that with this if you wanted to. Obviously, this is less likely to have major issues when it comes to freezing up or anything like that, being that it's a battery and not a gas engine, but you still have that opportunity. So the Toolless handle, as you can see, we have the kickstand here, which is going to be consistent with our gas version. And then, obviously, like I mentioned, we do have that 9/16 in here for easy adjustment of the board. So as we flip this down, lock it in there. What you'll notice is that when I fire this unit up, we actually have really nice LED lights that kind of come on the side. So when we originally kind of talked about doing this, we were like, well, that seems kind of gimmicky, but it's really not. As we got out into the field and you get into indoors, which is where a lot of this application is for. It's for indoors and outdoors, but indoors, oftentimes there's not as much lighting, especially if you're into a basement in a new home or new construction. This lighting is huge because it'll allow you to be able to watch the cream come into the top, how close you are. It'll just shed a little bit more light on the project that you're trying to do. And these will actually stay on for about 30 seconds after usage. So that's really nice. So you can kind of pop that on. For those of you that have the Milwaukee hand tools and things like that, that's something that they have on theirs as well. So that's really exciting that we can kind of shed a little bit of light on the situation. So the other thing that you're going to notice when you guys get these out and you start using them, you might hear a little bit of the humming from the mat that we're on. But one of the big areas of feedback that we got on this unit is just the overall noise. And I really should kind of say the lack of noise. So when you guys, if you've run the gas version, you know, when you crank those things up, that GX35, that thing hums. With this, the only noise you're going to be hearing is going to be from the eccentric down there. So that means that if you're inside a building or in a basement, you're not going to have that engine noise. It's going to be much quieter. In the field testing that we did, our R&D manager said, you know, the nice part about it is like when I was in the basement doing these pours, I could have a conversation with the puddlers just like I'm having a conversation with you right now. So that's one of the big things to kind of keep in mind. And when they first started using it, we first started doing pours, and they're like, well, it's not running. And, you know, our R&D manager, Gary, he's like, what do you mean it's not running? He's like, well, I can't hear it. And Gary goes, well, look at the concrete. He's like, oh yeah, sure as heck, it is running. So that's kind of the big thing is keep in mind is just because you don't hear it, it does not mean that it's not working. The output, the functionality, the runtime on this unit, everything should be consistent with a gas version. You're just not going to have the noise or the issues with the gas engine that you may have had. So kind of keep that in mind. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. I'll just run it for a few seconds so you can kind of hear what it looks like and see how it feels. And we'll start taking some questions after that. So like I said, the nice part about this is, you know, if we were running a gas version, there's no way I'd be able to be having a conversation with you right now. This thing is relatively quiet. We're getting a little bit of humming noise from the mat that we're on, but other than that, it's a very quiet unit. You know, we've run competitive units on mats like this, and you can't even hold on to it because that hand arm vibration goes right back up into the operator, and it's uncomfortable and it's not usable. So kind of one of the things to kind of keep in mind. So you notice that the lights do stay on. And that's essentially the unit. You know, for those of you out there that have Milwaukee batteries, you can use your old batteries with this. We do sell it both ways. We can sell it to you without the battery and the charger, or we can sell it to you with the battery and the charger. And they actually come looking just like this. This is the rapid charger that we offer. And then, like I said, the Milwaukee 12 amp M18 red lithium high output battery. So, with that being said, if there are any questions out there or any comments? Can you turn the unit around to show the light? Certainly. So this is where the lights are situated. They actually kind of shine down on the board, which is really nice. It's designed that way. So there's one on each side, so you can kind of keep an eye on what's going on. And again, like I said, when we kicked around the idea of doing lights, I think Milwaukee actually brought it up, and they're like, well, what about some lights? And we're like, well, we could put lights in there. We put it in there, and we're like, this is actually really slick. So we started getting out into the field, and R&D and engineering were like, this is a great idea. So we started putting that on them, and they've been working really well for us. So.
What are the size of blades available?
So the size of the blades that we have, or the boards, is going to be 2 feet up to 24 feet. And again, anything over 16 feet, you're going to need 2 power heads. I do have some guys down in Chicago that they run every 16 footer with 2 power heads, and you can do that. But really, as far as MBW, the only requirements that we have is going to be 18 up to 24. So. And keep in mind, these are all made right in the USA. So these are made right in Slinger, Wisconsin. For those local guys, you can come and pick them up. For anybody that's that's in a different part of the country or different part of the world, keep in mind these are all American made. Really proud about them, and this is going to be consistent with every MBW product. You know, we're built to last, American made, and you know, our goal, our core competency is building high quality, durable American made equipment. And you know, the whole life cost is one of the big things that we look at, and that's how we design our equipment, is to make sure they last a long time. And any of you out there that, you know, have our plates and have our wet screeds, you can attest to the longevity.
you let them know the increments of the sizes between the blades?
Yep, for sure. So it starts at 2 feet. We have them listed in our price book, or if you have a dealer, that's how the dealer will quote it. Would be 2, 4, 6, 8 in increments of 2 feet all the way up to 24. If for some reason you have someone or you yourself would like a 5-foot board or a 7-foot board, like I said, we make them actually right over there. So it's not a big deal. We can cut them to a specific size. Generally speaking, if we're doing a custom, let's say you want a 9-foot board, we would charge you for a 10 and then cut it to the 9 feet, put the end caps on, make sure all the stickers are positioned right. You just have to communicate that to your dealer or communicate that to your regional sales manager. So, and for any of you out there that have any of you end users, make sure you talk to your local dealers. We're starting to ship these pretty soon here, actually, I think within the next couple of days. So they're going to start going out in waves. So some of your local dealers might actually have some on order that are going to be getting some. Some might actually be getting them really shortly here. Some might be getting them down the road. And for those that don't have any on order, have them contact their local regional sales manager, who I think most of them are actually on this call. And they can certainly help you at the process of either getting set up or putting in an order to make sure we can get these pieces of equipment in your hands. So
what is the life of the battery?
So the life of the battery is going to be more of a Milwaukee tool question. But one of the things I do know is that Milwaukee does a great job. As you know, they're one of the top 3. A lot of people say they're number 1. DeWalt and Makita might say differently, but they have a really long runtime, and they continually update a lot of their software, and a lot of that software will communicate from charger to battery, which means that as time progresses and as you buy new tools and new batteries, it's going to continually update some of the older batteries to make them run the most optimum. So a lot of the longevity of the battery has to do with usage, how old it really is, what kind of environment you're storing them in. If you have them in cold environments, really hot environments, that's going to change. Unfortunately, I don't have a great answer for you on that. But I do know personally that I have a lot of friends that have had Milwaukee batteries for, over 10 years. So
anything in the works for a battery trowel machine?
Anything in the works for a battery trowel machine? Great question. To be determined. There's a lot of things. As you can see, this is something we've been working on with Milwaukee for a while. And those of you that were at World of Concrete and ARA, you saw us there with this unit, and we're finally releasing this out to the public, which is really awesome. And we have other projects that we're working on, not only just as MBW internally for the compaction and concrete world, but also, there might be a handful of things that, we might be working on with Milwaukee down the road. So fortunately, I can't say anything right now, but just kind of keep an eye out and follow us on social media and things like that. And as we progress with more products, not only gas versions, but battery versions as well, we'll make sure you stay up to date. Do we want to show a video or two? Yep. So what we're going to do right now is Heather's our marketing manager is going to fire up a video that we've taken on some of the field testing that we've done. And it's really exciting. This is actually from some contractors we've been working with, a few different ones in some of the field testing. So, when you look at this unit, you can, it really has, we put it through its paces. We've done hundreds of hours of field testing and pours with contractors around the, the greater Slinger, Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. And we've made sure that we've got it on concrete, hours upon hours of concrete, hours and hours of pours. We've gotten it also, endurance testing internally. And for those of you not familiar with an R&D department, I remember when I first started with MBW right around 8 years ago, I was talking to our R&D manager, Gary, and he said, I basically get paid to break things. And I was like, how do I sign up? So that sounds like a fun job. And he's like, yeah, it's his job is basically to build equipment that doesn't break. And that's what our core competencies are as a company. And that's what our engineering department expects. And we want to build equipment that lasts. So Gary does a great job of making sure that that this equipment is gonna not break in the field. So that's what he did. He went out there and he, did, like I said, hours upon hours, hundreds of hours of testing on concrete, and then also in the factory as well to see if we can break it. And at this point, we've our engineering department feels confident, our R&D department feels confident, and we're excited to finally have this getting rolled out to all of you, and we're excited to see some feedback. And any of you end users out there that are on this call, once you guys get them in your hands, feel free to take some videos and post it on our social media page. We're excited to get this out there. And to me and to a lot of the folks in the industry, this is a tool that really hasn't been seen before. Yeah, there might be a battery or electric powered Screed out there, but nothing with a Milwaukee battery, nothing that's been approved by the battery manufacturer. So this is really exciting for us. We're really excited to have you guys on this call. And with that being said, I just wanted to throw it out there and see if anybody else has any other additional questions.
Thanks, Rick. Great job. Can't wait to get them up here in Canada to show our customers.
We're excited to get them up into Canada as well. We think this is going to be a big home run. And keep in mind, you know, when we're talking about these units, not only are more and more things being powered by batteries, but, you know, batteries, you know, for those of you out there that have power tools, there's less and less cords that are on job sites. So that's one of the big things to kind of keep in mind is that, you know, as more and more things go to battery powered, for this, it's taking the place of a gas engine. For some of you, this might really only be applicable that you guys only want to use it for indoor applications because you don't want to have the noxious fumes. And that's fine. You can use this for indoor. You can use it for outdoor. We're still offering the gas version, just like we normally do. That's been a staple of MBW for a very long time. And we anticipate this being one of those pieces of equipment where we're going to be able to, you know, sell gas one, sell battery one, and it's going to be more or less interchangeable. Now, keep in mind that if you buy a gas one, you can't retrofit a battery, and you buy a battery, you can't retrofit a gas. They are different, but you can, like I said, use them in conjunction with an 18-foot board or 20 or 24 paired together. So kind of keep that in mind. All right. We're going to let this video run for a while longer. I wanted to thank you guys all for jumping on this call. It's very exciting. And, you know, for us, it's one of those things we've been working on for a long time. All of our salespeople are excited. All of our engineering staff, R&D, operations, everybody internally is very excited to get these units out the door. And we're going to be shipping them very soon. Like I said, within the next day or two. And we're going to be getting them out to you. So like I said, it's going to be coming out in waves. For those of you end users that are on the call, if you'd like to get a hold of one, contact your local dealer. If you're in Utah or South Dakota or Iowa or Wisconsin or Illinois, wherever you are, contact your local dealer. If they have some on the way, they'll let you know. If they don't have any on the way, they can certainly order them from us, and just make sure that for any of you dealers out there that don't have any that are coming, get a hold of your regional salesperson. They can start to put you on the list. We had some pre-orders of this taken. So like I said, these are going to go out in waves, but we are starting to release them, and we're going to be releasing them hot and heavy. So you're going to start to see shipments here coming out very soon, and we're excited to get them out into the field. Nice part about this is, you know, a lot of people are doing basements in the wintertime. It's a perfect opportunity to take a battery-powered piece of equipment, use it in a basement, and not have to deal with those fumes or any sort of issues with cold weather and gas. So thank you again. If you guys have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the message there. Other than that, I will let you enjoy the rest of the video. And again, thank you guys for jumping on.